Because if we'll keep on delivering home the message that they are exposed to our Air Force, eventually what they'll have to do is arm themselves with anti-aircraft missiles. And then, he wrote, this reserve corporal, that in the next war, Israel will find it very difficult to lead the war in the way it is used to, where it controls the sky. Fast forward to 1973, October, it's Sukkot. Yom Kippur War started. Israel was surprised. I was on leave from my compulsory service, and I wasn't called to service, and I was certain, like most Israelis, that everything's going to be okay. And the reports in the media saying the situation is stable, there's not too much to worry about. A few days into the war, I heard from a friend whose parents were friends with the then chief of staff that the situation was awful and that Israel was under real danger. So I found my way to volunteer into a parachutist unit which went into Sinai on Sukkot, the same day of my birthday, October 14th. And it's not like here in the States when you go to Iraq or to Afghanistan, it's a long trip. It's just less than an hour flight and you're there in the middle of real hell. And we took from the airport and into the reduction of the Suez Canal, and then we stopped, and then the commander said, you know, get ready and be prepared, and then he asked my friend and me to be responsible for anti-aircraft machine gun. So I said, what the heck, you know, we control the sky, so nothing to worry about. 10 minutes later, Egyptians, Mirage jet fighter, circled over us, and then he buzzed and began to shoot at us. I was looking for Israeli planes to protect me, but there were none. So then we had to shoot like mad and then dig foxholes, and it was really, really scary, and it was really, really shocking. And when I looked at the Suez Canal, which is not very far, I've seen that scenario. The Egyptians really did that. They've learned the lesson. They've armed themselves with masses of anti-aircraft missiles, and I've seen too many Israeli F-4 and other planes, you know, trying to cross the Suez Canal and being shot down by these missiles. So that taught me a lesson, that things have to be thought up very, very thoroughly. And if one misses something important, although the situation at the present looks fantastic, eventually someone is going to pay a very dear price, and sometimes it can almost kill you, like what happened to me in Sukkot in the Yom Kippur War. So these were the influences which led me in that direction, but without meeting Arabs or seeing Arabs, I wouldn't have been involved in the Center for Jewish Arab Economic Development. And growing up in Tel Aviv, like I did, we never happened to meet Arabs, never really have an opportunity to talk with them. So a few years later, I was in Boston, Harvard, and I went to the Center for International Affairs there, Shimon Peres, who later became prime minister, and now he's the president of Israel. He was off duty at the time, and he was speaking there. And there were a few East Coast professors who were giving him a hard time. And I was standing there by the side, and I found myself in a group of three. On one side was a guy I didn't know, his name was Shukri. He's a PhD student from Ma'ilya, that's in the North Galilee. On my left side, there was another Arab, Seri, PhD student from East Jerusalem. I never met them before, but in that context of a Middle Eastern being isolated in that university city, the three of us, without knowing each other beforehand, felt like we were almost from the same village. So when I came back to Israel, I began to visit with Shukri in Arab villages in town. And I was exposed to the difficulties Arab university graduates had in finding jobs, finding employments, getting into the high-tech sector, which was very limited at the time. And most of them, unfortunately, had to find jobs as teachers and educators. I witnessed the frustration, the anger, the accusation, and the blaming. And I also saw at the time that in a few of the cases, it wasn't just discrimination. There were particular personal reasons which would have prevented these people from getting whatever they wanted. But when there is an environment where by discrimination is so prevalent, one tends to load everything on this. I also went to visit Seri in East Jerusalem. Seri comes from a leading established Palestinian family. And we discussed the need of the Palestinians to start to develop the business infrastructure and the economic institution